For introducing me, Miles. So let me just share my screen first. Okay. So can you see my screen clearly? It's okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So it seems like all right, okay, so you can see my screen clearly. So again, thank you very much for the introduction, Miles, and to everyone, thank you for attending this webinar. So I hope by the end of this webinar, you'll learn a thing or two about the topic for tonight. Okay, so let me use this pointer. So for tonight's webinar, we're going to discuss about gut microbial community, right? So the title of the talk is Your Gut Got Your Back. Okay, the role of gut microbial community on well-being. So, you know, this is one of the common expressions. You know? Usually we say this with our friends, like, oh, I got your back. So when we say got your back, it means we support someone, right? So in this case, we're talking about gut, which is our gastrointestinal tract, our stomach, our intestine, and how our gut supports us, especially in terms of well-being. Okay, so this is our agenda for tonight. So the outline of our presentation. So first, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about myself, about my hometown, which is the city of Manila, and of course, how I came here in Japan. And then we're going to have an overview of microbiology, or the study of microscopic organisms. After that, we'll have an overview of the gut microbial community and its importance. And then lastly, what factors that affect gut microbial community, right? So about myself, as Miles mentioned, my name is John Paul Matthew Guzman, but you can call me JP for short. So it's easy to remember, right? Because of course we have JP Bank, JP Post, and Japan, we usually abbreviate as JP. So for my educational background, I had my bachelor's degree in biology from the University of the City of Manila. So I also had my Master of Science in Microbiology, cum laude at the University of Santo Tomas. And then after that, right now, I'm currently taking my PhD in Applied Marine Bioscience at the Tokyo University of Marine Science and Technology in Shinagawa, here in Tokyo, Japan. Okay, and then for my professional background, my first work was as a microbiologist at a private company called Centrotech Corporation in the Philippines. And then after that, I taught in a university, which is my previous university, the University of the City of Manila. So I'm teaching undergraduate students. And at the same time, I'm also a researcher at a government research institute, which is the Industrial Technology Development Institute of the Department of Science and Technology in the Philippines. So the Department of Science and Technology is similar to the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, and Science and Technology, or mixed here in Japan. So I'm working as a government researcher back home, but right now I'm a PhD student in the Tokyo University of Marine Science and Technology. So now I just want to introduce a little bit about my hometown, which is the city of Manila. So the city of Manila is quite big. It has around 42 square kilometers for its total land area. So if you've been in Tokyo, specifically in Koto City, here in, if you're familiar with Odaiba, so Odaiba is in Koto City. So the total land area is around 40 square kilometers. So you can imagine how big the city of Manila is. And the population or the number of people in the city of Manila as of 2020 was around 1.8 million. But in Koto City, we have around 400,000. So can you imagine the area that we have here, but around 4 times the number of people. Right? So there's a lot of people in the city of Manila, and based on the English Proficiency Index, ranking many different cities worldwide. So 26, the rank of the city of Manila is 26 out of 109 in terms of English proficiency. So you can imagine that when you go to the city of Manila, when you travel in the Philippines, it's kind of easy to go around. You will not get lost because people can help you when you can speak English, because most of them can speak English. So hopefully you can visit our city, because our city is a melting pot of cultures. So when we say melting pot, there's a lot of cultures in this city. Like there are regional cultures, which means the different regions or the different provinces in the Philippines. And then there's also the influence of international or foreign culture. Like, for example, the city of Manila has the world's oldest Chinatown. And because of our history, we have the Spanish walled city of Intramuros. So the Spaniards occupied the Philippines for around 300 years. So they left a lot of historical monuments, of historical areas in the city. So we have this Spanish walled city of Intramuros. We also have some American era architecture. So the Americans also occupied the Philippines. So in the city of Manila, we can see different buildings which are kind of looks like you are in the United States. And then, of course, because we are in the Southeast Asia, and based on our ancient history, we also have Muslim town. So you can imagine there's a lot of different foreign and regional cultures in the city of Manila. So aside from different places, we can also experience different cultures, different cuisines. So we have street food. So here in this photo, we have a lot of different skewers. Okay, so there are some dumplings, so some meat on sticks. And then we also have what we call balut, right? So this is duck embryo. So this is one of the exotic food that is popular in the Philippines. And then if you're fond of drinking, so we have sisig. So this is usually eaten while you're drinking, right? And then we have a lot of festivals. So in this photo, what you can see here are actually people. So imagine this bridge. There's a lot of people standing on this bridge because of a religious festival. Okay, so this is in the city of Manila. And of course, being a Christian country, the Philippines celebrates Christmas. So in the city of Manila, you can see a lot of festivities relating to Christmas. So that's for my city, and hopefully I've introduced to you the different places and the different cultures that you can experience when you visit the city of Manila. So I invite you to visit the Philippines, specifically the city of Manila. And that is because another thing that characterizes the city of Manila is because the city of Manila is a center of education. So here in this map, we can see the red dots here. This is where the universities are. So we call them this area as the university belt. So this district has several universities and colleges in Manila. So the University of the City of Manila, where I studied for my bachelor's degree, and the University of Santo Tomas are located in the city of Manila. So the University of the City of Manila is located in Intramuros, the Spanish walled city, and the University of Santo Tomas, which is the oldest university in Asia, is found in the city of Manila. So you can see historical buildings, and of course, there are also other different places here in the city. So many foreigners also go to the city of Manila to study. Some people study the language. Some people study different things or different majors. Okay, and how did I go to Japan? What is the story behind my journey? So I had an experience being a research fellow at the National Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology in Thailand. So for 3 months, I worked in Thailand doing a research specifically about shrimp. Okay, and then after that, I went to Taiwan to present in the 3rd International Symposium on the Control of Aquatic Animal Diseases. So in Taiwan, I presented a paper, and then there is where I met my sensei here in Tokyo University of Marine Science. So after my presentation in Taiwan, I discussed with my sensei about my intention to go to Japan to study for my PhD. And after getting my next PhD scholarship, I went to Japan again to pursue my PhD studies in applied marine bioscience in Tokyo University of Marine Science and Technology. So we can see here that by working on this field, we can go around and travel the world and experience different cultures. Okay, so that's for my journey and about myself and about my city. Now, let's go to the main topic of this presentation about microorganisms, about microbiology. So before we discuss further about microbiology, can I request our audience to please raise your hand if you think that microorganisms are only about causing diseases. So if you think that microorganisms are only about causing diseases, they just result to diseases, can you please raise your hand? Anyone who has an idea about microorganisms? Okay, so maybe everyone thinks that microorganisms are not just about diseases. So if you're thinking that way, then you are correct. And later on, I will introduce to you the different advantages or the benefits, as well as the the disadvantages or the risks that microorganisms entail or cause for us. So microbiology is the study of microscopic organisms, or we just call them microorganisms, or for some people, we just call them as germs. No? So in casual conversations, when we refer to microorganisms, we just call them germs. Okay, so you will often hear this word instead of microorganisms. So when we say microscopic organisms, we cannot see them. We need to have a special equipment, which is a microscope, in order to see these microorganisms. So microorganisms can be divided into many groups, but for tonight, we're just going to talk about 3 major groups of microorganisms. So first, we have the bacteria. So the characteristic of bacteria is that they are single cell. So maybe you when you go back to your biology, your teacher taught you about cells. So for bacteria, they are only composed of 1 cell. But when it comes to fungi, these microorganisms are composed of many cells. That's why they are called multicellular. Okay, so for bacteria, they are single-celled. For fungi, they are multicellular. But now, when we talk about viruses, they are non-cellular. So it means they are not made up of cells. That's why some scientists call viruses as non-living organisms, meaning they are not alive, right? But we still call them as microorganisms. So for tonight, we're going to talk about these three groups of microorganisms. Okay, so first let's talk about bacteria. I'm sure many of you have heard about E. coli. So E. coli is a species of bacteria that is normally found in the digestive system. So maybe you have heard of E. coli, that it causes this diseases such as diarrhea. But E. coli is actually normally found in the digestive system, but they are opportunistic, meaning they are just there. They are normally found in the digestive system, but in some cases, they can cause diseases. So when the opportunity comes, they will cause disease. Okay, so E. coli is like that. They are opportunistic. And then another bacteria is Propionibacterium acnes. So you don't have to memorize, you don't have to remember their names because they are scientific names. They are written in Latin, so kind of difficult to remember, right? So it's like watching Harry Potter. So it's difficult to remember. But anyway, these bacterial species are also naturally part of the microbial community, but this time of the skin. So can you imagine in your skin right now, you have Propionibacterium acnes. So they are normally found in our skin, but they are also opportunistic. So they can cause acne. So they can cause pimples. Right? So that's why they are called Propionibacterium acnes. Okay, so we can see here that bacteria, although they are naturally part of our microbial community, they can cause diseases because they are opportunistic. But bacteria is not just about diseases. So we have what we call Bacillus subtilis. Okay, they are normally found in soil, but if I'm sure you have heard or you have seen natto. So natto, this is actually a fermented food which was prepared using Bacillus subtilis. So can you imagine the natto that you were eating? From maybe you like this this dish. So it was prepared using a bacteria found in soil. But don't worry, natto is clean. You can eat that. The reason why we use this bacteria is to make our food healthier and tastier, and also to preserve, okay, to prolong the shelf life of our food. So it means the food will not expire easily, or it will not spoil easily. Okay, so another is we have lactic acid bacteria. So they are inherently found in the healthy digestive system. When we say inherently, this is also like natural. Okay, so they are commonly found in healthy digestive system, but they are also found in fermented foods. So I'm sure everyone here have tried probiotic drinks or yogurts already. So these desserts that we eat are actually prepared using lactic acid bacteria. Okay, so we can see that some bacteria, they can cause diseases, but some are actually used to prepare food. Okay, and then we have another for fungi. Now let's talk about fungi. We have baker's yeast. Okay, so baker's yeast, the reason why it's called baker's yeast is because this species is usually used for baking bread, but also for brewing beer. So can you imagine this microorganism? We use that for our food for breakfast and also to enjoy our Friday nights, right? You know, when we go to izakaya and then drink beer, we have to thank this microorganism because this is what we use in order to brew beer. to prepare beer. Okay, and then of course another, we have oyster mushroom. So yes, the mushroom that we eat are actually considered microorganisms. They are fungi. So these mushrooms, like for example oyster mushroom, we usually use this as an ingredient, right? In various recipes, especially in Japanese food, right? We have a lot of Japanese dishes which have oyster mushroom in as an ingredient. So yeah, fungi, they can also be used for food, just like bacteria. And then we have bacteriophage and SARS-CoV-2. Now we're talking about viruses, right? So viruses, usually when we hear viruses, we're thinking, okay, diseases, especially now during the pandemic. We know that COVID-19 is caused by SARS-CoV-2. So this SARS-CoV-2 is the causative agent of COVID-19. So this is an example of a virus that causes diseases. But did you know that there's also a virus which we usually call bacteriophage, which is considered as a good virus? You know why? This type of virus can infect and kill bacteria. So the E. coli or the Propionibacterium acnes that can cause diseases, we can use bacteriophage in order to kill them. So right now there are many researches that are being conducted to explore the use of bacteriophage to treat many diseases caused by bacteria. So yeah, we can see here that bacteria, fungi, and viruses, they can either cause diseases, but also they have some beneficial effects for us. That's why it's important to know if the microbial community, the microorganisms that are present, in our gut are beneficial for us, or can they cause diseases? Okay, so first, what is gut microbial community? Gut microbial community is the collective term for all the microorganisms residing in the intestinal tract. So when we say collective term, it means all the microorganisms found in or residing, meaning thriving or found or present in the intestinal tract. This is what we call the gut microbial community. So now let's talk about the importance of gut microbial community. Why do we need to know something about the microorganisms found in our intestine, in our stomach? Okay, because there are a lot of microorganisms in our human body. So the question is, how much? So can you imagine there are trillions of microorganisms found in the human body? So if we can have 1 yen for every microorganism found in the human body, we are certainly a trillionaire already, right? We can have our own mansion, our sports cars, right? So there are a lot of microorganisms. There are trillions of microorganisms found in the human body. And some of them are found in the gut microbial community. So in order for you to imagine how much there are microorganisms found in the human body, so the ratio of microorganisms for every human cells is 10:1. So for every 1 human cell, there are 10 microorganisms. So microorganisms outnumber human cells. So there are more microorganisms than human cells. So right now, if you look at your body, 90% of your body are actually microorganisms. So we are just walking microorganisms with a little bit of human cells. So that is how great the number of microorganisms are in the human body. And considering that there are a lot of microorganisms, there are a lot of different species in the human body. So there are around 10,000. That's why it's really important that we know the function or the importance of these microorganisms. So let's talk about the importance of gut microbial community in the different systems or in the different parts of our human body. So since we're talking about gut, we're talking about stomach, about intestine, obviously microorganisms found in the gut would have an effect on the digestive system. Okay, so first, gut microorganisms help in digesting various kinds of food. So there's a lot of food that we take, right? For some people, you take a lot of vegetables. So for some people, they prefer eating meat. So the reason why we can digest all these foods are because of the microorganisms found in our gut. So they help us break down this food into smaller substances, into smaller pieces, so our body can use this food for our usual functions. Okay, so like for example in cows, so in cows they have a special microorganism to digest the grass that they eat. So the same with humans, we have special microorganisms to digest different kinds of food. So when we have imbalanced gut microbial community, meaning there are more bad microorganisms rather than good microorganisms, so there is an imbalance. It affects our weight, so we gain more weight, and also the blood sugar level increases. So if you're familiar with the disease called diabetes, it's because of high blood sugar level. So when we have an imbalanced gut microbial community, we can be obese, right? When we say obese, our weight is higher than usual, right? Heavier than usual. And then we can also have diabetes because our blood sugar increases than normal. Okay, and then the third one is it helps prevent intestinal discomfort. So sometimes we're feeling uncomfortable, and this is because there are bad microorganisms that cause this discomfort. So the good microorganisms, when we have balanced gut microbial community, they help prevent us from feeling discomfort. So you can see here for the digestion, it's very important. The gut microbial community is very important. Now let's talk about immunity. From the start of the webinar, I asked you about whether you think microorganisms just cause diseases or not. So here's the answer. Microorganisms, they also help in boosting, in improving our immunity. Okay, so there are bad bacteria or bad microorganisms that cause diseases, but there are also good microorganisms that help us fight against those diseases. So they help prevent pathogenic microorganisms from dominating the microbial community. When we say pathogenic, these are the microorganisms that cause diseases. And when we say dominating, it means they outnumber. There are more pathogenic microorganisms than good microorganisms. So the gut microbial community prevent these bad microorganisms from dominating. Okay, and then aside from the usual diseases caused by microorganisms, these good bacteria or these good microorganisms, they also enhance, they improve the immune response against diseases, including cancer. So there are many studies, there are many researches that say that the gut microbial community, they also help prevent cancer. Okay, so can you imagine you by maintaining a balanced gut microbial community, you prevent infections and also you can prevent cancer. So we can see here is very important when it comes to preventing diseases. Okay, now let's talk about heart health. Like maybe you're thinking, wait, we're talking about gut. Wait, we're talking about intestine. But why are we now talking about heart health? It's because gut microbial community, so it's around here, can affect our heart health. So it reduces cholesterol. So cholesterol, these are the bad fats. Okay, so usually when we look at the nutritional facts or the label of our food, we can see, oh, this one has high cholesterol. So it means it has a lot of bad fats. So when this cholesterol, when you have a lot of cholesterol in your blood, so it blocks the normal circulation, the normal flow of the blood. So our gut microbial community produce some substances. So when we say substances, these are chemicals, okay? So they produce substances to reduce cholesterol and also to prevent bad bacteria, okay, from blocking blood circulation. So that is how gut microbial community affects our heart health. Okay, so by maintaining a balanced gut microbial community, we can also take care of our heart. Okay, and then now muscles. So maybe some of you go to the gym to, to exercise, to build muscles, and then maybe some of you run or jog or bike around your place to strengthen your muscle. Okay, but did you know that by taking care of your gut microbial community, you can also take care of your muscles? Because according to research, a healthy microbial community helps promote muscle growth. So you don't need to go to the gym. You can just take care of your gut microbial community, and it can help you promote muscle growth. It can help you build your muscles. Okay, so by for example going to the gym and then you're taking care of your gut microbial community, then you will have bigger muscles, or you can have better muscle growth. So later on, I will let you know about how can we take care of our gut microbial community. And another thing is we can help prevent the loss of muscle mass and strength. So we can not just promote muscle growth, but we can prevent them from shrinking, and also from preventing it to lose strength. Okay, because okay, you have big muscles, but maybe it's weak. They are weak. Okay, so gut microbial community prevents them from becoming weak. Okay, and then about respiratory system, about breathing. So the gut microbial community improves in gut microbial community. It also improves our immune system or our immune response against pulmonary diseases. When we say pulmonary, it has something to do with our lungs. Okay, so it prevents diseases like that. And then research also showed that poor digestion, okay, caused by imbalanced gut microbial community leads to bad breath. So right now, most of us don't use face mask anymore. So please take care of your gut microbial community so you can continue not wearing mask. Otherwise, please, if you're not taking care of your gut microbial community, please continue to wear mask, because if you have poor digestion caused by imbalanced gut microbial community, you will have bad breath. Okay, so by taking care of your gut microbial community, you can prevent having bad breath. Okay, so that is how important gut microbial community is. And then now, lastly, let's look at the highest part of our body, brain. Maybe you're thinking, how come that these microorganisms found in the intestine can affect our brain? but yes, they can, right? So the gut microorganisms, they release substances which can influence our mood. So maybe if right now you're feeling happy, then maybe it's because of your gut microorganisms. If you're feeling sad, maybe it's because of your gut microorganisms. Okay, so the mood, the way we're feeling right now, may be because of our gut microorganisms. So it's very important that we take care of our gut microbial community because they can influence our mood. They can affect how we feel. Okay, so sometimes if you want to feel happy, maybe think about your gut microorganisms, whether they are happy as well. Because if you're taking care of them, then they will take care of you and they will make you happy because they will influence your mood. Okay, that is how important they are. And also, this term, gut microbial community, is linked to impaired memory. So when we say impaired, it's not functioning normally. So maybe if you forgot where your keys are when you left your home, or maybe you're thinking, did I turn off the lights before leaving my house? Or because of this, because of being forgetful, maybe this is because of our disturbed gut microbial community. Okay, so we have to consider that maybe our being forgetful is because of our disturbed gut microbial community. And lastly, we talked about mood, we talked about memory. Our gut microbial community is also associated with intelligence. So yes, if you can ace your exams, if you get high scores with your exams, maybe it's also because of your gut microbial community. Okay, so it influences our mood. It helps maintain our memory, and also it's associated with intelligence. Okay, so you can see here that gut microbial community, it doesn't just affect our digestive system, our immunity. It also affects many different parts of our body, including our brain. Okay, so can you imagine right now, maybe the one talking with you, the one presenting with you, is because of the gut microorganisms I have. So they are the ones presenting in this webinar right now. Okay, so that is how important they are. So now let's talk about the factors that influence our gut microbial community. First, we have the diet. So whatever we are eating, whatever we are drinking, they affect our gut microbial community. So if you're familiar with the uh, with the quote or with the expression that we usually say, you are what you eat, meaning whatever you are eating, it affects you, right? So of course, if you are eating unhealthy food, of course, you wouldn't expect that you will become a healthy person. So your diet also influences your gut microbial community, and also your lifestyle. Of course, when you don't have an active lifestyle, when you're not doing exercise, it affects your body, and your body also affects your gut microbial community. So it's very important that we also maintain a healthy lifestyle. And also genetics. Okay, when we say genetics, we're talking about DNA. Okay, so the way how we look like right now is because of our parents. We inherited these characteristics. The way we look is because of our parents. So our gut microbial community is also influenced by whatever our parents have. Okay, so genetics also affect gut microbial community, and also medication use. So when we take medicines, when we take especially antibiotics, they affect our gut microbial community. Remember that our antibiotics, the medicines that your doctor prescribes or gives you, they kill the microorganisms. And some of these antibiotics, they just don't kill the bad microorganisms, but also the good microorganisms. That's why we have to be very careful about taking medicines. Okay? So knowing these factors, how can we take care of our gut microbial community? Eat a balanced diet, eat healthy food, okay, and take probiotics. When we say probiotics, these are the food which are usually made up of microorganisms. Like for example, I'm sure you're familiar with probiotic drinks. So these are probiotics that we can take to help take care of our gut microbial community. Of course, live a healthy lifestyle and do not self-medicate. Don't use antibiotics if your doctor didn't tell you to do so. Okay, and if your doctor told you take this antibiotics for 7 days, 3 times a day, you should follow the doctor's instructions. Even if you're already feeling well after 3 days, but your doctor told you take the antibiotics until 7 days, you have to follow your doctor. Okay, because it affects your gut microbial community. Right? So to end this presentation, remember to trust your gut. Usually when we talk about gut, we have what we call gut instinct, gut feeling. Okay, so gut feeling is like an instinct, intuition. We're thinking about something, but we don't exactly know the reason why. So that is what we call gut feeling. So sometimes we have to trust our gut feeling, but most of the time we should trust our gut because our gut got our back. Right? So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.